Ah, okay. All right.
Maryland, are you ready? On July 12th, for the first time ever in the US, Coach Wendy Ologe will be hosting the Intentional Parents Summit in Glen Burnie, Maryland. The theme of this groundbreaking summit? Time, the currency of a kingmaker.
So what can you expect? Parenting insights that will completely transform the way you raise your children, a mindset shift to help you maximize time, the greatest asset of a kingmaker, support and encouragement from a thriving community of like-minded parents who are on the same journey, exclusive access, and the unique opportunity to engage with a world-class parenting coach, Africa's #1 and internationally recognized thought leader, and the author of 20 books on parenting.
This is more than a conference. It's going to be amazing and insightful, a life-changing experience. You don't want to miss it. I will be there.
How to register? Click the link below or follow the instructions on the screen to pay your general admission investment of only $130, which includes delicious food, because why not? Great transformation is fueled by good food. If you want to receive VIP treatment for only $200, get all the general admission perks plus priority seating, access to an exclusive VIP mixer with Coach Wendy, and a gift bag that includes a bunch of goodies, including her latest book, The Kingmaker, exclusively autographed just for you.
Can't make it in person? No problem. Just grab the virtual pass for only $30 and join us from anywhere. Click the link below or follow the instructions on your screen to register now before tickets sell out. I will certainly be there. Will you?
I will definitely be there.
For sure. Who will be there? We will be there. Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're seeing and viewing us live today. We are glad to welcome you to our final episode of the talk show for real moms, real parents, real stories. We are glad to have every one of you join us today. And I want to see you in the chat room to show me how excited you are for the summit in the US coming in the next 2 days. Yeah, I can see you. I can see them in the chat room. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are very pretty much pumped up and excited to welcome our amiable coach and her team for the maiden summit of the USA. Thank you very much for joining us on today's talk show. And we'll have 3 of us here that will be hosting you. My name is Noelum Anyebo, and I'm the host for this final episode of the Talk Mom talk show for the US Maiden Summit pre-summit party. And with me on the show today will be our Ancient Iada again. We're bringing her today to help us round off our work. Can we have you, ma'am, introduce yourself once again?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you all. So, once again, my name is Adepeju Oluwokere, and I've been in the yard for 5 years, going on 6.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for obliging us this time again to round off our discussion on Real Moms, Real Stories pre-summit talk show today. And I'm so glad that we could have this together. So without wasting much of your time, I would ask that you share your comments or your questions. So today's episode is going to take a different kind of way. We're going to have you ask us questions, and we can share our experiences, based off on the questions we see on the chat box. So we're waiting to hear you ask us questions and pretty much, hear from us what exactly we have for you for the summit going forward. So back to our mommy in the yard. Um, I would like us to how much experience based off on the the experience you've gained so far within the yard, and how much do you think we're how much is your excitement about the coming summit? How excited are you? How do you think the others, do you think US is ready for what is coming to it this time around?
USB ready? I don't know. But Yada's been ready, yes. I know Yadas are ready. I know Yadas are, pumped and primed to, to receive the anointing of parenting. And the truth is, for everybody that is going to be able to make it there, you will not know what hits you. It's I knowing Coach Wendy for so long, I know it's going to be fully packed. So yes, we are excited. We are waiting.
All right. We are so pretty much excited about seeing Coach live, and every other part of the world, streaming live for us for the first time, and we will be the host, being there physical with that. It's so exciting for me. I don't know, but I believe the pulse is it's so live right now. So I just wanted to like ask while we are waiting for the questions to come in from the chat room. One of the things that I would say would sound for you or for me is the transformation that happens to everyone that enters the yard. I mean, everyone that hears our coach speak, right? But more importantly, we know the right things to do and the right things that we should be doing. But we have this common thing. Even the Holy Book says, time and chance happeneth to all men. And we're wondering, how is it that we are able to still live this transformational life, go beyond just surviving and being able to thrive because we've mastered the skill of energy, or as we call it in the yard, essentialism, or time as a factor in parenting. What does that what does that come to you as?
To me, it's a statement. It's just us realizing the fact that parenting is about us, not the children. Once we are able to embrace the idea of parenting is about you, and then we are ready to listen. We are ready to not just listen, make use of everything we are listening to. It's that's where the transformation comes. And like you said, we know, especially for those that have been in the yard for long, those that have been listening even before they got to the yard. So some people have been following Coach Wendy on Facebook for a while, but even before they got to the yard. So there are some things we knew that we're supposed to be doing, but then the fact that you keep listening to it, there's nothing beats you keep listening, like a reminder, something like a reminder of what you have to do, and the fact that you are not alone. The fact that you see people in the yard, people talking about their experiences, talking about their progress, their success, the shortfall in cope. Those are the things that keep us going and make the essentialism very easy for us.
Okay, like this is very true for me personally, because I recall that one of the things I struggled a lot with, in terms of parenting and joining the yard, was having the skill of understanding that this parenting, some of us go into the yard with the mindset that I want to know how to, I want to parent this child to be the child that we are looking out for that child to be. So we come in with the mindset that we are doing it for the children, and until I grasp the knowledge of the understanding that I think it took me for the first time in the year to actually understand when you say parenting is about you. I give you an instance. I recall, one of the episodes I had for my own, my own child. That's why I believe that one of the greatest gifts I have gained as a person in the yard will be the gift of perspective, the gift of, you know, understanding who I'm parenting. I think that's the most important thing that happened to me. I give you, like I was saying, I have this I have four of them, four kids, four of them, four different personalities, four different approach to things. So what really hit me in the yard was the fact that one of the things that Coach Wendy will tell you is parenting. You parent each child within their strengths, their learning styles, their personality as a person. She calls it achikote ekwo parenting. That means you're bringing everybody in the same space and handling your kids in the same way, like like it is that you think should be. So so when I was doing that, I saw that after that webinar, after that seminar on who you are parenting, I began to understand the why I was struggling in parenting, because I had a blanket approach for the four of them. And understanding I had the different personalities, with the book we were reading and that exposure, I was able to curate something that was unique for each of my kids. So when I see this child, give me as an example, my last baby, she's a sanguine. The sanguines will not want to be organized. They are butterfly, they're everywhere. Me getting worked up that this child, I told you to do this, you've not done this, right? And understanding that her personality has actually provided me with that insight that this is who I'm parenting, right? So I have an extra task of that discipline to be able to give her an understanding of what her expectations are, what her boundaries are. And I also now give grace when she goes out. So she has an understanding of, okay, I'm going out of that boundary. The first level was for her to understand that there is a boundary, right? And we're able to come to a point where this boundary should not be crossed. And if boundary is crossed, we have an understanding of what happens. So I don't know if this has actually happened to you, but I think this is one of the greatest gifts I have as a person, beyond managing ourselves as persons, understanding who we are parenting. So I don't know if this is a story for you, but what do you think about, you know, how has this understanding helped you as a person in the yard?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to streamline it to this particular understanding of um, uh, personality. You know, for me, it even went beyond my children to people I work with, people I relate with. There used to be times that I would look at somebody and then I would feel so whatever different kind of emotions, disgusted, annoyed, embarrassed, whatever happened at that point. I would question the sense in quotes of that person, like, you're an adult, come on, why are you behaving this way, even outside my children, even outside my home, like. But then when I read understanding, oh, I forgot this. No.
Why you act the
Why
way
you
you
act the way you do? So I I first my first time, because it took me two readings for me to really grasp why you had the way you do. My first time, I put my children into reading it. My mind was on my children, and my husband, when I was reading it, my mindset was fully on my family. But then the second time I was reading it to actually fully grasp it, I started seeing outside of my immediate environment into other people. So it made me actually understand where people are coming from. Sometimes the temperament, the outwardness of people, the way people respond to things, the way a choleric will respond to a situation is not the same way a sanguine will respond to a situation. And then I was able to, like, I would be having a meeting at work, and then in my head I'll be combining somebody's personality, like, oh, Noni is a combination of choleric and sanguine. So I can see our choleric nature come out in our leadership skills. If I can really relate to people on different levels, because I could, understand who they were. Like, I was able to start understanding people, understand myself, understand the children, my husband, and everybody around me. So, the friction between me and people was reducing because I could actually see them. So I wasn't seeing everybody through me anymore. I was seeing people through them. And that was a real shift for me.
All right, that was a real shift for me. That's awesome. Thank you very much for that. Because if being in the yard, your transformation is the first step before every other thing happens around you. Because it gives you that gift to be able to have perspectives, not just from that myopic lens of yours. You now have a broader perspective of where this person is coming from, and understanding why the person is doing what he or she is doing. And that gives you the premise to extend grace. That gives you the premise to think through before you act. I
and
think
and and also it gives you the presence of mind to extend grace, think before you act, and give boundaries where necessary.
sure,
Hmm.
if boundaries where necessary. I think that's 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 another level. That's another level for for some of us. And yeah, that's true. So so reflecting back again, we're just going through the different things we've learned in the yard, and we're trying to make sense out of all the things we've experienced, especially with us having um that idea that with the way we are thinking is actually different from the other person's perspective. Okay, so another thing I would also want us to talk about is discipline. I believe our coach has redefined what discipline is. I mean, it's mind blowing that I see her almost round the clock. I don't know how she does it, but that discipline of showing up each time I say I'm gonna do this, that discipline. And it's something that even as adults, I've actually come to realize myself that discipline is a skill that you learn. And some of us expect that discipline from our children, but we as adults, we are not disciplined. Take for instance, something is shared in the cohort groups. Do this, you know, do this, and do it this way. Probably there's a link for you to follow and share your whatever, whatever. You still see people sharing within that group. I think, what do you think about discipline, as an adult, and how do we translate this discipline, for our children, when we say discipline is not an emergency, and, us being disciplined in doing the things we should be doing at the time we should be doing them? What does that mean to you?
Oh, you're asking somebody who is still on the journey.
Of course, we're all on a journey.
Who is still on the journey in this issue of discipline. But yes, Coach Wendy is actually she's actually a role model when it comes to showing up, doing things you're supposed to do, and when you're supposed to do it. For me, to be honest, I'm still a journey in progress. my success story about discipline is still in progress. And you cannot give what you don't have. You don't expect discipline. And there's another thing. One, I've learned that, and it has always been a principle in handling children. You don't give what you don't have. Second, um, children are more like monkey see, monkey do. It's not what you're saying. It's what you're doing. Let me give you an example. Um, I've never liked screen right from time, but then my children still had it from when they were little. They still had their iPads, like their tabs. We will be traveling. I'll give them tabs, you know, for a while. I still remember I would time it like, oh, you're gonna be on that till we reach a particular state, or a particular city, and then I'll take it away and all of those things. But then when I wanted to take it away from them completely, that if you are going on a journey, be in the moment, be present, look at landmarks as we are going. Let's talk about what we see. You know, how I started was I just replaced things, and that's what worked for me too. I replaced all of the books, all of the tabs. I would not give them the tab in the car. I would put books around. The living room had books. The rooms had books. So what I'm saying this is when you are bored and you have need something to do, I made it very interesting. It was storybooks that were interesting to them. You understand? Like I made them pick what they wanted. So even when they were bored, when you look around, your first instincts will not be to reach to it to your tab. It's to reach to a book, because that's the only thing you see. So, in essence, discipline might come in different forms. It could be you taking away your distractions. Even for me as an adult, I would put my phone somewhere. Like you don't expect you to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and then you expect children to not use their devices. It doesn't work. You don't expect when you don't show up, and then you expect the children to show up. If you take the children to school late in the morning, like school resumes 8 a.m., and you get there 8 a.m. or 8:05, and then you tell them they have to be disciplined. No, they are seeing you. There's a principle that on time is being late. Like I would tell them, being on time is being late. If you get to school by 8 a.m. and school you're supposed to get to school by 8, if 8 is your last time, and what do they call it? Is it lateness, whatever, and then you get there at that time, you're already late. But then when you are rushing last minute to rush them to get them to school by 8, and then you really expect them to have discipline. So I see, and I also see those things like follow this link to do this, and then you don't follow. People do that, don't follow, and then they expect a different result. To be honest, again, we are all work in progress. But then there are some things you can actually put in place to help the situation. Another thing I've always put in place for myself is alarms. I would say I'm a working alarm. Like I would tell people I'm a working alarm. 1 p.m. do this. And my alarm will actually say talk to Noni at 1 p.m. Like I would put it there so that I know what I'm supposed to do, because I know that I struggle with, like I can actually get carried away with something else. So what do I do? Find a way to make it work. So I would write it down. My laptop, as I speak to you, has sticky notes on beside the parts right here. Alarms. Make things easy for you to be disciplined. Take distractions away and replace it with reminders. And honestly, it works. And especially immediately you start remembering that the kids are watching you, then something start changing in you.
Exactly. Thank you very much for that, because I know that coach always says this. Immediately you become a parent, you lose privileges of certain things. There are some things you don't just begin to do. There are some things you just can't do anymore, simply because you have taken an office that you have sworn allegiance to, of being a model that will translate to other destinies. So I think that's so true of you. And one of the things that got me laughing when you were talking is the issue of time management, because when you were talking about setting alarms, putting your reminders, and actually I think one of my biggest wow was being able to remove distractors. I call them distractors because most times we might have all those reminders and things like that, but eventually we get up not doing them simply because those distractors, or the environment where you have kept yourself, has you have not kept your environment to sustain your vision or to sustain what it is that that you've
You
set out
want
to
to do.
do. So I
Mm.
believe that one of the greatest things, for us as individuals and as parents is, the issue of role modeling, the issue of taking our parenting as a mandate. I That's why I love this upcoming conference for the king's mandate. Is a mandate, and it's not until you have that mindset shift that you are on a mission, to deliver on this mission. You can't stop until you deliver, and you don't deliver until until you get to the point where what you're saying, or what the people following you are able to replicate that which you have
Mm.
as a vision. So thank you very much. And I would also ask you, one more thing. What exactly do you think, especially for diasporan parents, particularly in this side of the world, where we are bombarded with a lot of things that honestly we don't have control over, more or less. You have some statutory things you must do, whether as long as you have found yourself in this space, there are some things that is demanded of you, and managing these things have been a struggle, especially for, let's say, parents with teenagers in particular. What's one thing that you would say that has really helped you to navigate this season, especially being on this side of things? The one thing, the one system, the one go-to, that has never failed, that is propelling you to thrive within the many things that demand your attention. How have you been able to, learn from this system and be able to apply it, and it's working for you, for a parent who is listening to us today?
Okay. I would say do not police your children around in this country. Do not be a helicopter parent, or the one that is um, sneaking into their phones, if they have phones, sneaking into their rooms. Do not, because one, like coach will say, we were born before tech, or something.
Born before tech, yes, now.
Yeah, she has a name she calls us, before tech or something like that. Yeah, born before
You're
tech.
right. Yes.
There is no way these children they are this is a smart generation. I don't want to say their generation are smarter, because the generation coming after them are still going to be smarter. So let me say this is a very smart generation, where um everything around them, even the TV in their house is smart. Everything around them is smart, and is propelling them, is making them smarter than what we were used to. So and in this climb, let's use an example of screen, for example. How do you take your child off screen in the US, when majorly screen is used as a means of teaching, as a means of delivering assignments, as a means of even the children submitting assignments? I was really worried. Like, everything here has to be on screen. Other than that, there are some other things for teenagers, like the world around. What a typical teenager in the US is exposed to is not what a typical teenager in Nigeria, in Ghana, in fact in Bangladesh is exposed to, whether we like it or yes. That is not even a story of whether we like it or no, because we or not. It's a yes. We don't have a choice. So the idea is, like I said, you can't police them. You can't. This is not an era where you remove cord from a TV because you don't want them to watch, or you take the laptop away, because you don't want them, or you have to be there. It's an era where you keep explaining to them. You give a reason why your opinion or your kind of parenting is the right kind of parenting. When you make the child see reason, you don't really have to. People would ask me, you keep leaving the kids at home, and they're not going on Roblox. And I tell them, because they know they cannot go on Roblox for this and this reason. Like, if they come to your house and your children are playing Roblox, for example, they know to say no. In fact, they are going to tell you the reasons why they are not supposed to play Roblox, because they know the reason, not because we yelled at them that no, you cannot play Roblox. So what has really helped me on my own journey is making them see the reason, like giving them, this is option A, this is option B compared to A. So what can we do better? How can we do this? So I think the best thing is to make them see reason, no matter how, even if they are preteens, they don't have to be teenagers. Even at preteen level, let them see the reason why you're taking an action. And then that's one of the reasons why family meeting time is very important. You are able to talk to them, and then you are able to listen and hear their feedback, see why they want to do whatever they want to do, and then you're able to help them, navigate them towards the right path. That's it.
Completely. This is really true, honestly, because one of the things that has really helped us, or the training of this perspective thing again in TIP, is the fact that we're able to um our child is able to tell us no. Our child is able to ask us why, because we have learned, and it has worked for us, that a child who knows why is better than a child who knows what, because your why is your driver. So you're able to know why you are not doing what you're doing. You're able to know why you are doing what you're doing, and that drives your convictions, so that even when they find themselves in spaces where their values don't align, it's easy for them to say no, and it's easy for them to say yes to what it is that is to their values, and what it is that is not to their values, they say no to them. Because I recall, for me, for instance, I remember one of those days, telling my kids, about, I think I've shared this with you before, when we had to have a digital detox in my home. At a point, like you said, the school system has made it in such a way that the kids are really dependent on these Chromebooks, the laptops, for them to get their work done. So for no fault of theirs, they have to be on this system for this number of X hours in a day, well above our accommodated time for them to be on the screen, limiting physical interactions and all that and all that. So we, with the help of the family meeting, we sat down and we say, you know what, this thing um has actually come to this point. What do we do about it? You give your children the opportunity for them to come up with their own proactive solution, based on the why that they have about it. And we all adopted after school this semester, at the close of school semester, to do what? To do a digital detox. And it was something that just happened, and we, it sat down well, with that understanding that, oh, this is why we're doing this.
Doing this.
And now we are now recalibrating. We are now putting things, we remove and we will now replace. We remove and we now replace. So, that's some of us that are sold in TIP. these are the things, the peace that we have from, you know, having, even with teenagers, you're able to, you know, go around with them and they understand. You have less frictions, right? And it's so amazing. So you know, this kind of thing will result to peace. Yeah, what you call peace in the home is not chaos. It's not the absence of chaos or the absence of conflict, but having, being able to do what, mitigate those things that can actually be a trigger for them. You know, you can't just, like you said, pull off the system from the child and say no, you will not do this. That wouldn't work. And most times you might end up raising hypocrites who will go back and be doing those things because they don't understand why they shouldn't. So, so what would you say, you know, would be one of the things that have actually engineered peace, you know, as a parent? Because one of the things, you know, yelling, having to, you know, troubles with different kinds of, you know, things that we have conflict with. How have you intentionally engineered peace, you know, parenting at home? And I know that you do travel and you know, you're able to leave your kids for a while, not because you are irresponsible, but because you have built those systems. So can you share more insights on how you have intentionally engineered this system to have your children independent and you're at peace with what it is that you have set up?
Okay, I will answer it in two ways. The first thing is, are we able to, avoid chaos? You know, live the peace of, have a peaceful environment, with us not being at loggerhead. Loggerheads is, do not expect an obedient child. It's strange when people say you don't want an obedient child, you want a responsible child. And I will use the very, very common example that Coach Wendy always use, the story of the foolish virgins. They were obedient. They did things right, but they were not intelligent. They were not at the end of the day, they were, because they didn't know why they, whatever happened. You understand? You actually don't want an obedient child, because if you want an obedient child, you are going to raise a hypocrite. Even when the children are not knowing that they are being hypocrites. There are some things they would do unconsciously, but the fact that they know that you are probably going to string their neck, they're forced to actually, maneuver their way, maybe for you not to know or lie about it and things like that. So the first thing is, try to raise a responsible child that understands, not, excuse me, not an obedient child. And because even when your child is obedient at home and they cannot say no, they cannot talk to you, they cannot reason, you are not giving them the opportunity to actually, use their brains, they will not be able to use their brain outside also. So, long story short, try to raise responsible children, not obedient children. That would be the first part. The second part is about, being able to leave them with confidence that they'll be fine. Leave them at home, travel, leave them at home, do stuff, go to my own school. It's that is just an accumulation of us putting things in place for a long period and testing it over time. We've been able to, whatever is happening in the home today, this start happening. It was a process, and then we actually walked towards each process, each step, the structure, what they're supposed to do at what time. So it was actually a structure that we have put in place over time after testing, seeing that it works or not, and having the mindset that we had already conditioned them to not, obey blindly, to actually reason things out. And that's it, other than God.
Other than good. Thank you very much. And I honestly, I would say that one of the things that's one of the greatest gifts that we've come to, accept in the system of TIP is, the gift of structure. That discipline is not punishment. Discipline is teaching, guiding, mentoring, coaching a child into being responsible enough to take decisions in line with what it is that is good for the child. So I recall these are the things that, you know I give you an instance again. I remember, my when we were trying to build, you know this sex talk that we have had over this last month and more. um for the preteen, I we started with hygiene. You know, being able to sit down and talk about hygiene. Look? What does hygiene mean to you, and what is not hygiene? I usually like, especially my little girl. You know, when we're trying to build that skill, so at times, so we had these steps, you know steps that we check out daily. You know have brush your mouth, shower, apply your deodorant, and all those kind of things. So because I understand her personality of, being forgetful at times, so we started with building them 4 5 steps.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to the 10th step, and she's able to. It was also part of our, executive function skills, to working memory, to be able to keep her to, okay, oh, I forgot this step. I didn't rub cream today, or I forgot to rub deodorant tomorrow, stuff like that. So being able to understand her and helping her to, see the need to go through this checklist and launching it was one of the things, when I remember, these days, I'm like, oh, what a gift from TIP. Understand? So structure is one thing, structure is discipline, structures and system is discipline, training, teaching, guiding. So that perspective change, instead of waiting for the child to fail and you come to, punish, as it were,
Yell, scream.
the child, yell, scream, and all that, we go back to the drawing board, right? And we start again until step line upon line, precepts upon precepts, and we're able to come to a place where we are today. So,
Mm-hmm.
if at this point that you're just listening to us today, and probably this is your first time hearing about TIP, or you're in TIP, but it's as if everything is still here and there, what would be your advice, dear Ada? What would be your advice to people who are still thinking, okay, how do we do this? How do you think, coming to this year's summit, in terms of managing all these things that we're hearing, in terms of, managing time, in terms of connecting to people, in terms of, being in a community, a supportive community, people of like minds, people who want better way of doing things? What would be your takeaway, or what would be your advice to someone who is listening to us today and thinking about this summit? Is it really worth it? What's the difference? After all, we'll be hearing the same thing. What exactly will be your counsel to such parents today?
I would say use this period to tell yourself, I'm starting where I am. Forget what has not been working in the past. Forget the fact that you've been stressed out, especially when you have more than one children and different personalities, and this person has this bad character in quotes. This child has this bad character that I have to remove. Start where you are, and if identify what it is you need to work on. If it's simple time management you want to work on, let it be time management for you, for the home that you want to work on. Start where you are. Identify the strengths and otherwise of each child and go from there. And as for TIP summit, what you what you aim, the connection and all of those things that you would want to think you are going to, you are wondering if would work at TIP, wondering what exactly do I want to go and do there. Like you said, Noni, like I've been hearing all of these things. Why do I have to go to the summit again? There's a difference. There's always a difference between you hearing people online, whatever, and seeing, people like-minded people, knowing we are all here for a reason. Imagine you sitting in the corner of your house and wondering, do I really want to go? And then you got there, you are thinking maybe we'll get like 10, 20 people there. And you got there, you are seeing 100 people. It gives you another kind of thinking, like, oh, I am definitely not the only one that needs to hear whatever it is. I am definitely not the only one that thinks I need to be here. And if I think I need to be here, Noni thinks she needs to be here, Sunshine thinks she needs to be here, meaning we are, all of us are in this together. We might, different things might be chasing us. What my reason for being here might be different from the reason why Noni came here. But the truth is, we all came here for a reason. So when you see a lot of people that are there for almost the same reason, parenting, like you are there, it makes it easy for you to resonate. And another thing, that it's not a lot of things that you can say online, in a WhatsApp group, on a chat room. But if you connect with people, just even if it's over lunch and then you're talking about things and you hear Noni say, oh, my daughter would normally do this. And then you know that, oh, my son does something close to that. And then you're able to rub minds. You might not, that kind of conversation might not ensue in online, in a group, in a WhatsApp group of things like, it's easier when there's human connection. It's easier when you're looking at yourself face to face, and when you are able to ask Coach Wendy's your questions, when you're able to talk to Coach Noni about things. Honestly, it just resonates differently. And again, I will keep reiterating it that we really need to push ourselves to go for the summit. And then we come back and gist ourselves how the summit went and what shifted for us at the summit.
Exactly. I'm so looking forward to it. One of the prayers I made personally, while in the heat of preparing for this summit was, I asked God just one thing. The only thing I ask, you know, is for me to be able to bring my husband to this place. And I think it was last week I was sharing this testimony and has done it. So for me, summit is a success, right? So because I already know that my parenting journey will be less stressful doing this together
Doing this together.
than doing it alone. Because I already envisage that in the next, probably the result I would have made probably in the next 5 years, I'm already seeing that I can make it within this year,
Mm-hmm.
within the next 1 year, simply because
You have a Yada father.
the other father. So I'm just sharing this because I know someone out there, it might not be so easy because trust me, for you to bring my husband to anything, you have to know what you would have done. Because I've been in the yard 3 years and running. My husband doesn't think yard being in the yard is for him, but I know something is gonna hit him this time. He won't survive it. So I know. So I've just been very, very humbly waiting for it to happen. So you might be sitting out there and you're wondering, how will you do this? You have so many things on your hand and you can't just make it at this time. And is it really, really, really going to be something different for you? Trust me when I say this. There's something that happens to you when you interact with people who are running the same race with you. There's something that happens to you when you have someone who can hold you by the hand and say, yes, I got you. And there's something that happens to you when you are able to meet people physically, and you put faces to the names of people, or the names
Mm-hmm.
of the people that you know that are coming to you. And it's something that I'm not wishing away. The connections, the real thing, the real human relationships that the yard has afforded us. I'm so looking forward to it. And you'll be wondering, is this all about it? No, there's more, because something happens. Is a planting. And you can't run and continue running without recharging, like we shared last time. You can't give from an empty cup. There must be a system you have to intentionally put in place. If you're not able to do it this year, plan towards it in the next coming year, to actually put within your system a way to recharge. Find out time and be able to launch into this system. If you believe in this message, if you believe in what we're saying, you must be able to find a way to put within your system to have conferences like this, to be able to come in, interact, and see people and feel people, and know that you're not alone in this journey. And so, for me, so looking forward to what we are set to do. Last night, the team, we had this long stretch of meeting, trying to fine tune things, and it's so exciting each time we come together. The many things that the many ideas that people come up, and we're able to fix this, and it's so amazing. Coming with the Friday hangout with Coach, and I mean, like, I don't know, it's something else. It's something else. And I really, if you're here listening to us today, I wish you to go click on this, on the link right now, and find your way to Maryland. By all means, find your way to Maryland. It's different that in one year something can happen to you, that in one day something can happen to you, that you can get the results of one year in a
One
day.
year,
I
yeah.
believe that strongly, and it's so gonna happen that so please find your way. And as we wrap up this program today, one of the things I would like us to share. I know you've been reading this Kingmaker book, and I know that we've have something in common doing with it. What will you tell someone who is yet to get that book, and the many books that we intend to as a way of sharing insights on the Kingmaker memoir, which is one of the books that Coach Wendy, one of of course, her baby book that will also be there at the summit. One of the things that you have learned from that book that has really shifted the things that you do, and that you are telling people about it now?
What I would say to somebody who has not gotten the book is, what exactly are you waiting for? Why have you not gotten the book? That would be my first question to whoever has not gotten the book. Like, really? You are in the year that you haven't gotten the book. Why? Because you think it's a biography? Because yeah, somebody did tell me that. That's why I chose that word. Like, somebody was like, why am I supposed to be reading somebody else's biography? You know, and then I told the person, well, I read the biography in quote, and when you why did and the question is, why do people read the biography of people in at events? Is it for you to be impressed by the person, or for you to be inspired by the person, for you to also do great things? It's not for you to be impressed. The person actually doesn't need you being impressed. The person actually, done whatever it is that they're reading out to you that the person has done. It's more
Sure.
like an inspiration to you. And the fact that somebody has done something and actually giving you the blueprint of how he or she has done it shows that you also can do it. The book went beyond parenting and went into um, launching yourself. You know, The book went beyond how the process of parenting the twins and went into um, all the work you put in into parenting the twins actually birth you launching yourself out for you to be a kingmaker, a kingmaker for other people. So it's about actually making kings, not making kings only out of your children, not only out of your biological children, making kings out of people, that are going to look up to you and, follow your blueprint to do things. That's the lesson from the book. So it's not really about Coach Wendy's life, but if you are able to reflect, it's about what it translates to for you, for other people. So please, if you haven't gotten the book, or if you have gotten the book and you have not created time to, to read it, I think you need to. That's it.
Thank you so very much. And with this, I want to, you know, really congratulate all of our participants and registrants who will be there. I know all roads lead to Maryland. And so if you're listening to me right now and you're still thinking, I've been trying to do this thing alone, then you need to be in the room on July 12th. I don't know what you'll be doing, but you need to be there on July 12th. We're going all out to actually understudy exact time and energy system that our Kingmaker have used to stop surviving and begin to thrive amidst the chaos that we have around us, and to thrive as parents, thrive as individuals, thrive as career persons, thrive as, people of purpose. So Coach Wendy is going to pour out decades of our experience into what and be walking us through the systems that we've learned. We'll have practical tools. We're going to have breakout sessions with teams around things that are peculiar to people, parents that have teenagers, parents that have pre-tweens, practical sessions. And we're going to have, of course, the VIP sessions with the VIP registrants will have a special session with the coach pre-summit and during the summit as well. So if you're still here thinking, is this summit for you? You're still thinking, it doesn't matter. I want to tell you today, make your way to Maryland, July 12th, and your life will never be the same. And so with this, we want to bring to a close officially our talk show pre-summit. I know I'm sure some of us would have learned a lot of lessons, practical tools. That's just a snippet of what will happen on the summit, during the summit on July 12th. So please make your way, share our links, and make your way to Maryland, Gun Rails, Maryland on July 12th. Find your time. We've provided childcare. Your kids will be having fun and be taken care of by professional nannies while you are at the summit, recharging yourself for them. So thank you very much for having us this last 3-4 weeks of pre-summit talk show. And we want to bring it to a logical conclusion by saying thank you so much to our amiable coach, Wendy. She's been something beyond a parent coach to some of us, a life teacher and a life and a guide, so to speak. Want to sincerely appreciate the honor to have this platform to be able to prepare us for our summit. Want to thank the team, admin, and all the team who have also facilitated our coming to this exalted platform to share our insights on what it is that we're doing differently based off on our knowledge in the TIP. Thank you so very much, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you at the summit, July 12th. Keep a date with us. Keep a date with your destiny. July 12th is it. And thank you very much. And bye.
Bye.
Maryland, are you ready? On July 12th, for the first time ever in the US, Coach Wendy Ologe will be hosting the Intentional
Summit in Glen Burnie, Maryland. The theme of this groundbreaking summit? Time, the currency of a kingmaker.
So what can you expect? Parenting insights that will completely transform the way you raise your children, a mindset shift to help you maximize time, the greatest asset of a kingmaker, support and encouragement from a thriving community of like-minded parents who are on the same journey, exclusive access, and the unique opportunity to engage with a world-class parenting coach, Africa's #1 and internationally recognized thought leader, and the author of 20 books on parenting.
This is more than a conference. It's going to be amazing and insightful, a life-changing experience. You don't want to miss it. I will be there.
How to register? Click the link below or follow the instructions on the screen to pay your general admission investment of only $130, which includes delicious food, because why not? Great transformation is fueled by good food. If you want to receive VIP treatment for only $200, get all the general admission perks plus priority seating, access to an exclusive VIP mixer with Coach Wendy, and a gift bag that includes a bunch of goodies, including her latest book, The Kingmaker, exclusively autographed just for you.
Can't make it in person? No problem. Just grab the virtual pass for only $30 and join us from anywhere. Click the link below or follow the instructions on your screen to register now before tickets sell out. I will certainly be there. Will you?
I will definitely be there.